Muay Thai. Muay Thai isn't just a martial art, it's like the Swiss Army knife of fighting, packed with punches, elbows, knees, and shins that could really ruin someone's day. Born in Thailand, this style was originally the bread and butter for warriors getting down and dirty on the battlefield. Now, it's not just for soldiers, it's a global sport that turns regular folks into lean, mean fighting machines. Training is tough, with a mix of heavy bag work, sparring, and drills that'll test your limits. But it's all in the name of becoming as swift and hard-hitting as possible. Taekwondo. Taekwondo, Korea's high-flying, kick-centric gift to the world of martial arts. Think of it as the martial art that's always aiming high, literally, with roots stretching back to ancient Korean traditions. This style is all about lightning-fast kicks, sharp hand moves, and looking cool while you're at it. Born in the turmoil of post-war Korea, Taekwondo is as much about kicking butt as it is about shaping minds, focusing heavily on respect and mental strength. Training is a mix of breaking boards, hello, party trick, sparring like you're going for gold at the Olympics, and mastering forms that could double as dance routines. Tai Chi. Tai Chi, often seen as a serene dance in parks worldwide, is more than just slow movement. It's a deep dive into ancient Taoist principles, aiming to sync body, mind, and spirit. Legends credit its creation to a Taoist monk, Zhang Sanfeng, who probably knew a thing or two about keeping calm and carrying on. This martial art is all about mastering the flow of internal energy, with each motion flowing into the next like water. It's not just for show. Tai Chi packs a punch in promoting health and balance, both physically and mentally. By moving slowly and deliberately, practitioners tune into their bodies, breathe deeply, and sharpen their minds. Kickboxing. Kickboxing is where the action's at, blending the best of the punching world with the high-flying kicks of martial arts. Born in the 60s as the cool kid on the block, kickboxing mashed up boxing and karate into a full-contact sport that's now a global phenomenon. It's not just about being able to throw a punch or a kick. It's about the whole package: speed, power, and the kind of conditioning that could tire out a marathon runner. Training is hardcore, with pad work to fine-tune those strikes and sparring sessions that feel as real as it gets without actually stepping into the ring. Karate. Karate, straight out of Japan, is the quintessential martial art known for its precise strikes, whether they're delivered by hand, foot, knee, or elbow. Its roots go deep, back to the days of the Ryukyu Kingdom on Okinawa, where it was the secret sauce for defending against troublemakers. Fast forward to today, and it's a global powerhouse with different flavors focusing on everything from self-defense to scoring points in competitions. But it's not all about the physical. Karate is big on polishing the mind just as much as the moves. Training is a mix of nailing the basics, perfecting forms that could pass as deadly dances, and sparring sessions that test your mettle, plus a hefty dose of self-defense know-how. Kung Fu. Kung Fu isn't just a martial art. It's a whole library of styles, each with its own flavor, from the swift punches of Wing Chun to the flowing movements of Tai Chi. This ancient practice's roots are wrapped in legend, pointing back to an Indian monk who apparently introduced the concept to the Shaolin Temple a millennium ago. But Kung Fu is more than just fighting. It's about discipline, respect, and finding balance, influenced by the rich tapestry of Chinese philosophy and history. Training in Kung Fu is like taking a master class in agility, strength, and strategy, with a curriculum that includes everything from basic stances and footwork to handling weapons. Aikido. Aikido takes the martial arts scene with a twist, literally focusing on flipping an opponent's aggression into a disadvantage, all with the philosophy of harmony and self-improvement. Created in Japan in the 20th century, it borrows moves from styles like Daito Ryu Aiki Jujutsu, but stands out for its non-violent approach to conflict resolution. Imagine turning an attack into a dance, where you lead by following, using joint locks, throws, and pins not to hurt, but to neutralize threats with minimal force. Aikido isn't just physical, it's a journey inward, teaching lessons of peace and unity. Training is a give and take, with students alternating roles to attack and defend, ensuring everyone gets a taste of both sides. Judo. Judo is the art of getting up close and personal, only to send someone flying with style. Invented by Jigoro Kano in Japan's late 19th century, it's a clever blend of traditional jujutsu and other martial arts, streamlined into a practical self-defense toolkit. The core idea? Why work harder when you can work smarter, using your opponent's own force against them to execute seamless throws, pins, and submissions. Judo's playbook includes a mix of dynamic throws, ground control tactics, and the kind of joint locks that make you think twice about being on the receiving end. Training is a balanced diet of randori, free sparring, technique drills, forms practice, and the kind of strength conditioning that ensures you're as tough as you are skilled. Kendo. Kendo is the way of the sword, bringing the art of ancient samurai battles into today's world with bamboo swords and protective armor. Born from the venerable Japanese kenjutsu, Kendo slices into the modern era as a disciplined practice of swordsmanship that's as much about the mind as it is about the blade. It's a dance of strikes, thrusts, and parries, all aimed at honing not just physical skill, but a warrior spirit. Guided by the principles of Bushido, training sharpens the body and the mind, focusing on nimble footwork and strategic body movement to strike with precision and defend effectively. Through kata, practitioners refine their technique and strategy, while sparring sessions, keiko, put those skills to the test in exhilarating exchanges. Krav Maga. Krav Maga isn't just a martial art, it's survival training for the real world. Dreamed up by Emmy Lichtenfeld in the tumultuous 1930s to defend Jewish neighborhoods, this no-frills, all-skills approach is about ending a confrontation as quickly and safely as possible. Think of it as the martial art that doesn't beat around the bush. It goes straight for the knockout or escape, with a focus on instinctive movements. Krav Maga drills into you the art of striking, grappling, and ground fighting, targeting an attacker's weak spots with ruthless efficiency. Training gets up close and personal, prepping you for anything from a bar brawl to a knife attack, with scenario-based simulations that feel all too real. Wing Chun. Wing Chun is all about making the most out of every move, especially when you're not the biggest fighter in the room. Born in the alleys of southern China and rumored to be the brainchild of a Buddhist nun, this style levels the playing field for those of us who aren't built like tanks. Wing Chun's secret sauce? Efficiency. It's a chess game of combat, where every move is about striking while blocking, staying close, and never wasting emotion. Think of it as dancing on a tightrope, where balance, speed, and smarts win the bout. Training sharpens your reflexes to a razor's edge, teaching you to read your opponent like a book and strike with precision. Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do, the brainchild of the iconic Bruce Lee, is more than just a martial art. It's a philosophy in motion. Coined as the way of the intercepting fist, this hybrid fighting style emerged in the 1960s, mixing the best bits of Wing Chun, Western boxing, and even fencing, all filtered through Lee's philosophical insights. At its core, Jeet Kune Do is about stripping down to the essentials. Why throw 10 punches when one will do? It's about fluidity, striking with precision, and switching up tactics without blinking. Training is rigorous, blending drills, and sparring with scenarios that teach you to adapt on the fly. Whether it's a punch, a kick, or a strategic block, every move is about being as straightforward and effective as possible. Hapkido. Hapkido, Korea's martial art of finesse over force, blends the best of Taekwondo, Judo, and Aikido into a versatile self-defense strategy. It's the brainchild of Choi Yong-sul, focusing on leveraging an attacker's energy against them. This style is perfect for David versus Goliath scenarios, emphasizing joint locks, throws, and disarmament tactics. Training in Hapkido is more than physical. It's a mental game of anticipation and reaction, using circular motion and fluidity to maintain control. Practitioners learn a comprehensive set of moves, from striking to grappling, all while cultivating a harmonious balance between mind and body. Capoeira. Capoeira is Brazil's mesmerizing blend of martial arts, dance, and music, rooted in the resilience and creativity of enslaved Africans from the 16th century. This art form is all about fluidity and rhythm, transforming combat moves into a dance that once concealed training from overseers. It's a spectacle of acrobatics, with strikes, kicks, and takedowns flowing seamlessly into spins and flips, all set to the infectious beats of capoeira music. Training is as much about physical prowess as it is about building community and understanding the cultural significance behind each move. Capoeiristas engage in partner drills that are a dialogue of movement, challenging each other while fostering a spirit of cooperation. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ, turns the fight floor into a chessboard, where brain beats brawn through the art of grappling and submissions. Born from the techniques of Japanese judoka Mitsuyo Maeda, who brought his knowledge to Brazil, BJJ is a testament to the power of technique over sheer strength. This martial art is all about getting your opponent to the ground and using positions and leverage to lock them into submission. It's like a physical puzzle, finding ways to control and outmaneuver larger opponents with smart moves and strategic holds. BJJ has made a name for itself in the MMA world for its ground fighting prowess. Training is hands-on, with drills to sharpen techniques and rolling sessions that put theory into practice, mimicking real fight scenarios. Jiu-Jitsu, or Japanese Jujutsu, is the ancient art of samurai combat, polished over centuries to work not just on the battlefield, but in any close-quarters scrap. It's all about finesse, using your opponent's energy against them through throws, joint locks, and submissions, proving you don't need to be the biggest to come out on top. This martial art teaches that with the right leverage and timing, anyone can flip the script on a larger adversary. It's a discipline that's echoed worldwide, laying the groundwork for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and influencing countless other combat styles. Training in Jiu-Jitsu is a blend of technique, resilience, and safety, with a strong emphasis on how to take a tumble without injury. Boxing. Boxing, the classic fist-to-fist combat sport, is all about the art of punch. No kicks, no flips, just good old knuckle sandwiches. Born in the gritty gyms and back alleys, boxing is as straightforward as it gets. 2 contenders, 1 ring, and a whole lot of strategy behind each jab, hook, and uppercut. It's not just throwing punches willy-nilly, it's about footwork, timing, and making every hit count. Training is rigorous, with a side of skipping ropes and punching bags, sculpting not just fighters, but masters of the sweet science. Wrestling. Wrestling takes getting up close and personal to a whole new level. This ancient sport is all about grappling, with techniques that range from the elegant to the, are they allowed to do that? It's the art of taking your opponent down to the mat, by any means necessary. Within the rules, of course. Born on the battlegrounds and refined in various cultures worldwide, wrestling is as diverse as it is old, with styles that cater to just about every type of athlete. Training is a mix of endurance, strength, and learning to bend but not break in the face of a challenge. Silat. Silat isn't just a martial art, it's like a dance-off. If the dance moves were designed to take down an opponent, this elegant yet deadly martial art comes from Southeast Asia, painting a picture of grace that hides a warrior spirit. With movements inspired by animals and a philosophy rooted deep in tradition, Silat practitioners, or Silat warriors, are as adept at handling weapons as they are at striking and grappling. Training involves mastering not just the physical moves, but the mental discipline to anticipate and counter an opponent's every move. Lethwei. Lethwei, or Burmese bare-knuckle boxing, is not for the faint-hearted. It's like boxing. If boxing decided to throw caution to the wind and use every part of the body as a weapon, known as the art of 9 limbs, it incorporates punches, kicks, elbows, knees, and headbutts. Yes, headbutts. Originating from Myanmar, this brutal combat sport is as old as it is fierce, with a no-holds-barred approach that has earned it a reputation as one of the most hardcore martial arts out there. Training is intense, pushing fighters to their limits and beyond. Lethwei is a testament to human resilience. Ninjutsu. Ninjutsu transcends the typical boundaries of martial arts, embodying the legendary realm of shadow warriors, espionage, and tactics shrouded in secrecy. Originating from the need for covert ops during turbulent times in feudal Japan, ninjutsu is less about head-on confrontation and more about the art of stealth, disguise, and striking when least expected. Training doesn't just involve physical prowess, but mastering the mental game, deception, strategy, and a whole lot of patience. Sambo. Sambo might sound like a laid-back name, but in this Russian martial art, it's all about getting down to business fast. Picture judo's throws and wrestling's grapples having a no-holds-barred rendezvous in Mother Russia. And you've got Sambo. Born from the Soviet Union's desire to toughen up their forces, it combines the best of grappling and groundwork, making it a fierce competitor on the mat. Training is like a chess game, where each move is calculated, but you're using limbs instead of pawns. It's not just about strength, it's about leverage, precision, and the element of surprise. Savate. Savate, or French kickboxing, is where elegance meets efficiency in the combat world. Imagine if ballet dancers decided to take up fighting. This is the result. Originating in the seedy underbelly of 19th century Paris, savate combines graceful movements with lethal kicks and punches. Practitioners, known as saboteurs, wear special boots, turning their feet into weapons as refined as they are deadly. Training is a blend of precision, agility, and poise, with a side of French flair. It's not just about hitting your opponent, it's about doing it with style. Eskrima, or Filipino martial arts, is the ultimate testament to the saying, "Stick and stones may break my bones, but I can use them to kick your butt." This martial art turns everyday objects into instruments of defense and offense, specializing in stick and blade fighting. Born from the Philippines' tumultuous history of conflict and resistance, Eskrima is as versatile as it is practical, teaching its practitioners to adapt and use whatever is at hand to protect themselves. Training involves not just physical dexterity, but a strategic mind, ready to turn any scenario to your advantage. Bando. Bando, originating from Myanmar, can be described as the martial arts equivalent of a multi-tool, capable of adjusting to any situation and equipped for a variety of challenges. It's a comprehensive system that includes striking, grappling, and even weapons training all rolled into one. Born from a melting pot of indigenous and neighboring influences, Bando teaches flexibility in technique and thought, preparing practitioners for any and all confrontations. Training is about embracing diversity, whether in the form of animal-inspired movements or the harmonious blend of offensive and defensive strategies. Sistema, rooted in Russian Cossack and military training, emphasizes adaptable combat skills for real-life situations, from self-defense to grappling and weapons handling. It forsakes traditional martial arts techniques for natural movements, focusing on adaptability, awareness, and personal wellness. Developed for the KGB and Spetsnaz, Sistema trains individuals to efficiently handle multiple threats, prioritizing practical over artistic aspects, ensuring readiness for any combat or self-defense scenario with a holistic approach. Taekyon, a traditional Korean martial art, is like the elegant ancestor of Taekwondo, with a twist. It's all about flowing movements and rhythmic dance-like steps. This martial art dates back centuries, woven into the very fabric of Korean history, offering a unique blend of striking, throwing, and tripping techniques designed to catch an opponent off guard. Training in Taekyon is like learning an ancient dance, where each movement is both an art form and a method of self-defense. It emphasizes flexibility, agility, and the element of surprise, teaching practitioners to flow like water and strike like lightning. Muay Boran, the ancient predecessor of Muay Thai, is like opening a time capsule to a world where martial arts were not just about sport, but survival. This traditional Thai martial art is raw, unrefined, and devastatingly effective, focusing on practical combat techniques that have been honed through centuries of warfare. Training in Muay Boran is about embracing the essence of combat, with less emphasis on rules and more on the effectiveness of each strike, lock, and throw. It's a journey back to the roots of Muay Thai, offering a deeper understanding of where modern techniques originated. Sanda, also known as Chinese kickboxing, is where traditional kung fu meets the modern fight ring. It's a full contact sport that allows punches, kicks, throws, and even some wrestling moves, making it a thrilling spectacle of Chinese martial prowess. Originating from the military's hand-to-hand combat training, Sanda incorporates elements from various kung fu styles, tailored for efficiency in a competitive setting. Training is rigorous, focusing on speed, power, and strategy, with an emphasis on adapting traditional techniques for real-world application. Shorinji Kempo, Japan's contribution to the world of self-defense, is more than just a martial art. It's a philosophical journey. Founded in the aftermath of World War II, it blends physical techniques with spiritual development, aiming to create not just strong fighters, but better individuals. Practitioners, known as kenshi, learn punches, kicks, and defensive moves, along with healing techniques and meditation, making it a holistic approach to personal growth. Training in Shorinji Kempo is about balance, harmony, and the pursuit of both physical and mental strength. Kyudo, the Japanese art of archery, transcends mere target shooting, evolving into a spiritual discipline where focus, precision, and harmony converge. Originating from samurai traditions, it emphasizes deliberate, intentional movements and the pursuit of unity between mind, body, and spirit. Practitioners, or kyudoka, engage in meditative training, aiming not just for technical prowess, but for personal and spiritual development, where perfection in shot execution reflects the archer's inner balance. Dambe, a fierce Nigerian martial art, dates back to the 10th century. Originating among butchers and fishermen, it features intense bouts fought on sand during harvest festivals. Matches span 3 rounds with no time limits, ending when a fighter falls. The spear hand delivers strikes, while the shield hand defends. Fighters also use a chain-wrapped leg for both offense and defense. Efforts to globalize Dambe were delayed by the pandemic, but its raw appeal endures. Bakkum emerges from the gritty streets of Lima, Peru, as a lethal blend of street fighting and jujutsu. Dreamt up in the early 1980s by Roberto Puc Bezada, a former Marine and jujutsu master with a colorful past as a convict, this martial art is about quick, brutal efficiency. Bakkum fighters aim to incapacitate their opponents swiftly with a combination of extreme strikes and concealed weapons, making confrontations potentially deadly. Initially developed for the Peruvian military, Bakkum is not for the faint-hearted. Bartitsu, an innovative English martial art formulated by Edward William Barton Wright in 1898, blends boxing, jiu-jitsu, cane fighting, and French kickboxing. Originating from Barton Wright's experiences in Japan, this eclectic style emphasizes a mix of striking and grappling techniques, tailored for effective self-defense. Although the Bartitsu Club in London closed in 1902, the art has seen a resurgence since 2002, marking its unique place in the history of martial arts. Rough and tumble, an unrefined but widely practiced form of fighting, carved its brutal legacy in rural America during the 18th and 19th centuries. This no-holds-barred combat was prevalent in the southern states, often used to resolve disputes with extreme measures like gouging, biting, and strikes to sensitive areas. Lacking formal rules, matches typically ended in bloodshed, severe injuries, and occasionally death. Due to its violent nature, Virginia banned it as early as 1752, with other states soon following suit. Mau Rakau is a traditional Maori martial art from New Zealand, focusing on weapon skills taught primarily on Mokoia Island. This art involves mastering weapons like the taiaha, a key focus in workshops that have trained over 20,000 individuals, including actor Cliff Curtis. Originated as gifts from the gods Tane and Tu, Mau Rakau not only teaches combat, but also carries deep cultural and mythological significance, preserving the heritage of the Maori people. Huka Huka. Huka Huka is a traditional wrestling style from Brazil, integral to the funeral rituals of the Xingu indigenous people in Mato Grosso. Participants start on their knees, rotating clockwise before grappling to lift and ground their opponent. Both men and women partake in this rich cultural practice. Interestingly, Huka Huka's techniques have also been incorporated into the training program of the Sao Paulo State Military Police, underscoring its blend of cultural and practical significance. Bando. Bando, hailing from Myanmar, dates back to 1000 AD and is a martial art that emphasizes defense. Practitioners mimic animals like cobras and leopards, using their entire body, feet, elbows, and more to dodge and counterattack. It's part of the ancient Burmese Tang tradition, making it not just rare but deeply rooted in history. Sirium. Sirium is a traditional Korean wrestling style, recognized as a national sport since the 4th century. Competitors wear a belt called a satpa, wrapping around the waist and thigh to tactically bring opponents down. Inscribed in UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List, Sirium symbolizes cultural significance and is governed by structured rules with professional weight classes. Celebrated historically during seasonal festivals, it includes both men and women, showcasing its evolution and enduring legacy in Korean culture. Luta Livre. Luta Livre, a Brazilian martial art created by Euclides Haytem, blends elements of catch wrestling and Kozen Judo. Known for its no-gi style, it is divided into 2 distinct forms: Esportiva, which focuses solely on grappling, and Combat, which adds strikes to the mix. Originating from the less affluent communities, it serves as a stark contrast to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Despite facing challenges from the rise of MMA, ongoing initiatives are breathing new life into Luta Livre, underscoring its important contribution to the evolution of modern combat sports. Tire Machete. Tire Machete, a formidable Haitian martial art, was born amidst the flames of the Haitian Revolution from 1791 to 1804. Crafted by slaves and free blacks, it blends traditional African combat techniques with European fencing. The art revolves around the machete, originally a tool for cutting sugarcane, but repurposed as a weapon of rebellion. These techniques were pivotal in overcoming the French colonial army. Long shrouded in secrecy, Tire Machete was only revealed to the wider world in 2014 by Haitian master fencer Alfred Avril. Bokator. Bokator, an ancient Cambodian martial art, predates Angkor and focuses on hand-to-hand and weapon techniques inspired by animal movements. Practitioners wear traditional military garb, including a color-coded krama scarf, indicative of skill level. Nearly lost during the Pol Pot regime, Bokator saw a resurgence thanks to San Kim Shan, a surviving master who revived the practice. Today, it stands as a testament to the resilience and rich martial heritage of Cambodia. Angampora. Angampora, a rare Sri Lankan martial art, dates back thousands of years, combining combat with meditation and exercise. Practitioners target opponents' pressure points through strikes and grappling, aiming to incapacitate or paralyze. Matches conclude with a submission lock. While traditional weapons are optional, the British banned Angampora in 1817, only for it to resurge post-independence. Today, the Sri Lankan government actively promotes this ancient art to preserve its cultural heritage. Suikendo. Suikendo, a dynamic Japanese martial art crafted by Tadashi Yamashita, embodies the philosophy of the fist that flows like water. This style melds elements of combat, dance, and flexibility, promoting a fluid fighting technique that allows practitioners to strike and defend with seamless efficiency. Suikendo teaches its followers various striking and breaking techniques, enhancing their ability to move and react like water. The art's influence is notable, even reaching champions like Floyd Mayweather, who have observed Yamashita's teachings to enhance their own skills. Hojo Jutsu. Hojo Jutsu is a specialized Japanese martial art that teaches the use of cords or ropes for restraining individuals. Developed for law enforcement, it's primarily practiced in Japan, where it remains integral to police training. This ancient art is still taught in modern police academies and advanced jujitsu classes, underscoring its ongoing relevance in safely capturing and restraining suspects. Abir, often regarded as the oldest martial art in Israel, uniquely intertwines physical combat with cultural heritage. Its name translates to gentleman, reflecting the art's disciplined approach, reserved for dire circumstances. Exclusively taught to the Jewish community, each technique in Abir is named after a letter of the Hebrew alphabet, integrating physical, spiritual, and Hebrew educational elements. Although some skepticism surrounds its modern promoter, Yehoshua Avner Sofer Ma'atuf Do, a former Hebrew rapper, the Israel Sports Authority recognized and legitimized Abir in 2008, underscoring its cultural and martial significance.
Silambam. Silambam, dating back to the 4th century BCE, originates from Madurai in Tamil Nadu, India. This martial art utilizes a sturdy bamboo staff, aptly named after the Tamil word for hill, reflecting its robust nature. Initially developed to defend against wild animals, Silambam has evolved into a comprehensive fighting system, incorporating weapons like swords, daggers, and even deer antlers. Arnis, also known as Kali or Eskrima, is the national martial art of the Philippines, originating from indigenous tribal warfare. It features weapons like rattan sticks and daggers, cleverly preserved through cultural dances during Spanish prohibitions. Today, Arnis is showcased in both performance and competitive forms. Can de combat, a French martial art developed in the 19th century, uses walking canes for self-defense. It evolved into a sport where competitors score points with stylish, precise strikes using lightweight canes in a ring, focusing on form and agility. Bojutsu, or the art of the staff, is a Japanese martial art focusing on the bow staff, usually 6 feet long. Originating in 1600s Okinawa as a covert form of self-defense, it involves precise striking and thrusting techniques, taught in a few traditional schools without official competitions. Fencing. Fencing originated in 13th century Germany and became a sport in 1763 London under Italian instructor Domenico Angelo. It features 3 sword types: foil, épée, and saber, each with specific rules. A staple at the Olympics since 1896, fencing combines strategy with physical agility. Jojutsu, known as art of the stick, originated in 16th century Japan by Muso Gonosuke to counter sword attacks. This martial art uses a 4-foot oak stick, focusing on speed and precision with techniques like strikes and thrusts. Jojutsu is practiced today mainly for self-defense and discipline. Hanbojutsu, meaning half-staff, is a Japanese martial art dating back to the 14th century. It involves a 3-foot staff used for blocking, striking, and joint locks. Modeled after a battlefield necessity, this art is primarily taught in a few Japanese schools for self-defense, not sport. Gatka, a martial art from northern India, combines physical, mental, and spiritual techniques. Originating as a Sikh battle skill against the Mughals, it uses swords and various weapons in fluid movements. Today, it's showcased in sports and cultural festivals, recognized globally. Gungsul is a traditional Korean martial art that centers on archery, believed to have started about 300 years ago during the Joseon dynasty. It gained prominence when Prince Henry of Prussia admired the skill in 1899, leading to its recognition as a national sport by Emperor Gojong. Gungsul uses a composite bow made from materials like bamboo and water buffalo horn. Maurakau is a traditional New Zealand martial art by the Maori, focusing on the taiaha, a staff weapon. Developed in the 14th century, it involves angular strikes and thrusts. After declining in the 19th century, Maurakau saw a revival in the 1980s and continues to be practiced, mainly on Mokoya Island. Iaido and Iaijutsu. Iaido and Iaijutsu are traditional Japanese martial arts focusing on the art of drawing and striking with a katana. Originating among samurai to counter surprise attacks, Iaido teaches self-directed sword unsheathing. while Iaijutsu involves formal instruction on drawing techniques. Practiced by enthusiasts, competitions involve performing kata, where swordsmen start by kneeling, unsheathing their swords, and executing precise strikes without moving their feet, judged by the sound of the air cutting. Krabi Krabong. Krabi Krabong is a traditional Thai martial art from the 16th century, using weapons like swords and staffs. It gained sport popularity during the Ratanakosin era, but later declined in favor of Muay Thai. Today, it's preserved as a niche sport in Thailand, practiced in both competitive and ceremonial forms. Naginata Jutsu. Naginata Jutsu, or art of wielding a naginata, is a Japanese martial art that uses a pole with a curved blade, historically wielded by female warriors. Today, it's mainly practiced as a sport by women in Japan, with competitions focusing on precision strikes using safe replicas, overseen by the International Federation of Naginata. Nunchaku-do. Nunchaku-do, involving the use of nunchucks, has debated origins, with theories ranging from Okinawan farming tools to modified night watchmen's clappers. Today, nunchucks are introductory weapons in martial arts like kobudo and karate, valued for teaching self-restraint and improving grip strength and hand speed. They are commonly featured in performance art competitions across Asia, Europe, and North America. Siljun Dobub. Siljun Dobub, created in the late 1970s by Korean Kendo Grandmaster Jin K-seong, is a martial art focused on katana mastery, emphasizing control, strength, and precise technique. Starting from a standing position, it involves advanced footwork and does not include sparring or competitions. Practitioners progress from wooden to sharpened steel swords, refining their skills over time. Single stick. Single stick, originating in 16th century UK, was initially a training tool for soldiers to master backsword skills using wooden sticks. It evolved into a sport with specific targets on the upper body and head. Although it declined with the introduction of Italian fencing, it was revived by the British Royal Navy in the 1980s and remains a niche practice today. Shintaido. Shintaido sprang up in Yokohama, Japan in 1965, crafted by karate master Hiroyuki Aoki. This martial art blends the bow staff with traditional karate and kenjutsu techniques, turning combat into an expressive art form. Historical European martial arts. Historical European martial arts, or HEMA, encompasses sword-based martial arts from Europe, dating from the 1300s to the 1800s, reconstructed from ancient artworks and fencing manuals. It includes training with various classical weapons like daggers, pole weapons, and bucklers, focusing on authentic historical combat techniques rather than the sport-oriented approach of modern fencing. Ito-ryu. Ito-ryu, a Japanese swordsmanship school founded in the 17th century by Ito Itosai Kagehisa, focuses on mastering decisive single-strike techniques with the katana. This style has significantly influenced modern kendo and emphasizes simplicity and effectiveness in its approach to combat. Haedong Gumdo. Haedong Gumdo is a Korean martial art centered on sword techniques, focusing on forms and patterns rather than sparring. Practitioners use wooden or real swords for solo exercises and target cutting, emphasizing the cultivation of body and mind without the competitive aspect found in similar arts like kendo. Sojutsu. Sojutsu, or Yari-jutsu, is a Japanese martial art focused on spear fighting using the yari, a spear with a long wooden shaft and metal blade. It includes techniques for both mounted and foot combat, effective against long-reach weapons and mounted opponents. The art, which emphasizes targeting armor weak spots, was traditionally taught to low-ranking samurai and foot soldiers. Sojutsu is still practiced in some traditional Japanese martial arts schools. Taktib. Taktib, originating from Egypt around 2700 BCE, is one of the oldest recorded martial arts, initially used for military training with a 4-foot stick. It evolved into a folk dance and later into a structured competitive sport under Adel Boulad. Today, Taktib combines ceremonial elements with competitions that involve precision stick strikes and is practiced worldwide. Tessenjutsu. Tessenjutsu, translating to Art of the Iron Fan, is a Japanese martial art that uses a folding iron fan called a tessen. Developed nearly 900 years ago, it enabled samurai to parry attacks and strike back with one hand, utilizing the fan's iron ribs for both defense and offense. Historically, samurai carried these fans as legal weapons into places where swords were prohibited. mastering their use to defend against various armed attacks. Today, Tessenjutsu is preserved by a small number of practitioners in Japan. Zulu stick fighting. Zulu stick fighting, or Dlala Nduku, is a martial art from South Africa traditionally practiced by Zulu teenage boys. It features during wedding ceremonies, where warriors from both families compete using two sticks, one for offense and one for defense to establish dominance. Overseen by a referee, the sport has roots in either cattle herding traditions or military training from the early 19th century under Shaka Zulu. Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, MCMAP, or the Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, stands as a pinnacle of combat training developed by the U.S. Marines in 2002. This well-rounded fighting system is the product of years of refinement of earlier training methods tailored by Lieutenant Colonel George Bristol and Master Gunnery Sergeant Cardo Urso. MCMAP fuses traditional and modern hand-to-hand, close quarters, and weapons techniques with moral and team-building exercises. What sets MCMAP apart is its adaptability, crafted to evolve and meet the demands of contemporary combat scenarios, making it a highly effective martial art for modern warfare. Tukong Musul. Tukong Musul, developed by the Republic of Korea Armed Forces, is a dynamic blend of traditional Korean martial arts and modern tactics. This martial art is tailored for practical combat, emphasizing unarmed techniques, weapon handling, and multiple attacker defense. Designed for versatility, it's effective in both close quarters and open field situations. Additionally, it strengthens mental discipline, resilience, and teamwork, training practitioners to remain calm and responsive under pressure. Go Xingkwai. Go Xingkwai, a martial art born from the passion of the Warfield brothers in South Wales, blends judo and jujutsu elements into a formidable combat style, originating from grappling techniques learned from books in their youth and later refined under Japanese Budo master Kenshiro Abe, who named the style. Go Xingkwai gained traction in the UK. Its effectiveness and adaptability made it a preferred technique for the British and Australian SAS forces. This style's incorporation into elite military training underscores its practicality and efficacy in high-stakes situations. Jieitaika Kutojutsu. Jieitaika Kutojutsu, a comprehensive martial art taught to the Japanese Special Defense Force, is based on Nippon Kempo and encompasses a wide array of combat techniques. This style integrates striking, joint locks, throws, chokeholds, and defenses against knives and rifles, making it highly effective for military engagement. In 2008, it evolved into a newer form known as Shinkakuto, though it continues to uphold the foundational techniques of its predecessor, ensuring that personnel are well prepared for various combat scenarios. Pikiti Tirsia Kali. Pikiti Tirsia Kali, a Filipino martial art crafted by the Tortal family in 1897, stands out for its combat-driven approach, focusing heavily on the use of edged, impact, and improvised weapons. Rooted in the traditional teachings of Arnis, this style has evolved into a comprehensive military fighting system. It incorporates a wide array of weaponry, along with advanced hand-to-hand combat techniques. Pikiti Tirsia Kali is not only rich in diversity, but also a key component of training for the Philippines' elite military forces, showcasing its effectiveness and adaptability in real-world scenarios. Sanshu. Sanshu or Sanda is a versatile Chinese martial art developed for the military, blending kung fu, grappling, and self-defense. Originating in 1924 at the Whampoa Military Academy, it was designed to improve soldiers' combat skills using traditional and modern methods. While initially for military training, Sanshu has evolved into a combat sport that also promotes health, fitness, and well-being, demonstrating its broad utility and effectiveness. Jukendo. Jukendo, a Japanese martial art specializing in bayonet techniques, employs a wooden weapon called a mokuju, or wooden rifle, for training. Developed in the 1700s as a military martial art, Jukendo is still taught within the Japanese military and a few clubs globally. Governed by the Nihon Jukendo Renmei, Japan Jukendo Federation, it remains a key component of the military's physical education, providing realistic bayonet training. This martial art is notable for its focus on practical application and tradition, maintaining its relevance in modern military training. KPAP. KPAP, which stands for Face-to-Face Combat, is an intense Israeli military martial art used by elite units. Developed in the 1940s by the Palmach, Jewish strike brigades for Israel's independence efforts. It later formed the basis for special forces training in the newly established IDF. Known for being more hardcore and less commercialized than Krav Maga, K-PAP was exclusive to Israel's top units until the late 90s, when it was opened globally by leaders like Lieutenant Colonel Chaim Pear and Major Avi Nardia. Special Combat Aggressive Reactionary System. The Special Combat Aggressive Reactionary System, or SCARS, was developed in the 1980s for U.S. Navy SEALs by Jerry Peterson. It focuses on eliminating fear and promoting an offensive mindset through combat techniques tailored for extreme situations. SCARS is taught through seminars, DVDs, and online, targeting military, law enforcement, and civilians.
Path of Enlightenment in Kalaripayattu. Kalaripayattu, an ancient Indian martial art, transcends physical training, focusing on the path of enlightenment. This holistic practice emphasizes mental discipline, breath control, and meditative techniques to forge a deep connection between body, mind, and spirit. Practitioners strive for self-mastery and inner harmony in the sacred training space, or Kalari, blending physical prowess with spiritual growth, making Kalaripayattu a powerful journey towards self-discovery and universal connectivity.
If you enjoyed this video, it's time to test your knowledge with our martial arts quiz video. Don't forget to subscribe for more.